Hi there, it's Christian here from the ZionWorx team, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about application options, configuring the options. Now, if you've watched the previous videos, you'll have seen that we've been to the options screen a lot to configure different things. So in this tutorial I'm just going to take you through the things that we've not touched on. So if you go to File, down to Options, get the Options dialog up. In the General tab, there's self-explanatory things up in the top here, desktop preferences. Down below we've got keyboard shortcuts, which is can be a very useful thing to tweak. To change your keyboard shortcut, you basically click on one of these things, you hit delete, and then you press the key that you want to change it to, and it appears in the box. It's straightforward. Let's move on to display settings. Now, this is basically giving you an arrangement of your monitors as is described by Windows display settings, and so you can see the resolution of the monitors that are available, and the icons that we've got here, the little mouse and the screen, are representing the displays that ZionWorx is managing. So the mouse represents the operator's display, which is what we're in now, the kind of back end of the program, and then the screen icon represents the presentation screen, which is what the audience sees. And you can drag and drop these things onto the different monitor outputs. And if you had 3 or 4 monitors, you can easily configure where you want these displays to go, and then when you click OK, they'll actually move onto the appropriate monitors. It's a very quick and easy way of just moving things around different screens. And once you've got that set up, there's no need to change it again, really. Okay, options down here are all to do with rendering, DirectX rendering. So there's a DirectX version. Normally you just leave this on latest version, but it might be that you want to try using an older DirectX version if your PC is a bit older, perhaps, and the graphics card drivers are optimized for DirectX 9. You might want to switch that, you might get better performance. And these other options here are to do with DirectX rendering. Full scene anti-aliasing, I recommend you just leave that off because it doesn't make very much difference and it will cut your frame rate a little bit. Overlaying performance statistics can be very useful combined with this benchmark rendering mode. I'll just show you how that works. So if we just get a song onto the screen and we turn on performance statistics and benchmark rendering mode, and we click apply, and you can see here these performance statistics are now overlaid, and the fan on my PC has also just started whirring a lot louder because the graphics card is really working as fast as it possibly can now. So it's achieving a frame rate of 465 frames per second at the moment to render this screen. So it's obviously far faster than you need it to be, but it's a way of benchmarking what your PC is capable of, and you can compare how the program runs on different hardware using this feature. So we'll just turn these off because we don't want these on for normal usage at all. This bottom option here about optimized render targets, what does that mean? Well, don't worry about it at all, keep it turned on unless you start to see strange artifacts in the rendering of the slides, and you start to see slides being superimposed on top of each other and becoming all corrupt. If you see that, turn this off and that will fix the problem for you. Otherwise, just leave it on. Okay, this feature down here is very useful as well. The opportunity to change the main display window size. So this is the display that the audience sees. So by default, it's full screen, so it's actually filling the size of the monitor. But it's possible to change it to a custom size if you like. You just click this button, put your pixel dimensions in that you want to use, click OK, and it will change the size of the window. And that's very useful because if you're targeting a different So your system at church is a widescreen projector, and actually probably more common, you've got a widescreen monitor at home, but your projector is a 4:3 ratio projector. And so on your widescreen PC at home, you'll be setting up the service as if it's to run on a wide screen, and you might have some strange subtle differences there when you come to transfer that service onto the church computer. So you can avoid that by actually setting your main display window size to the very pixel dimensions of the projector that you know you're going to target, and then you know it will be absolutely perfect. Okay, other options are video inputs, which we've already covered in another video. Same for database, same for Bible. So the presentation options, let's just quickly go through these. There are options to show the curtain, that's the blank screen on startup, or show the logo on startup, so you can choose which you want to do. Then you can change the curtain colour to whatever you like, and you can also pick your own logo. So you might want to do this. You'll be quite happy if you want to show the ZionWorx logo all the time, but you probably don't want to. So let's see how we do this. Here's the logo file. You just basically browse to a file, and here's a sample one. This is your church logo. Let's just pretend. Open, and when we apply that, we'll see it change here. Now just take note of these fill modes here. There's a number of different fill modes that you can have for the image that you've just applied. So we can stretch it, which is probably not going to produce a very good image. The letterbox fit is more sensible. Crop fit is also keeping the aspect ratio. Tile, so that shows you how small the source image actually is. It's very small. Or the native size, which is that. And then you can change the background as well, the background colour. So at the moment it's black. If I was to change that to white, that would make more sense. Still quite small. Make it letterbox, that will probably do the job. There we are. So that's our church logo. Options for the speed of crossfade of text, these two options here, and the speed of the fade between items when you're changing between things in your playlist. You can adjust these things. There's also an option here to hide the live video button on the presenter panel. That is this button over here. If you don't really use live video and really that's just taking up space, then you can tick the box here, click apply, and it will vanish. Options to activate PowerPoint. If you want to use PowerPoint, you need to tick that and restart. And we've covered alert settings in a previous video. Theme options, we've also covered most of these. The one of interest here, I would say, if you're using the theme editor, then the theme editor has to draw updates regularly, and you can control how many frames per second it draws at. And if you are on a kind of slower machine, you might want to keep this number quite low, just so that it doesn't clog the application up and kind of slow down the user interface. Another sort of performance enhancing thing as well is showing font styles in the selector in the theme editor. You can turn that on and off, and if you've got a lot of fonts installed in your system, you might find just turning that off gives you a better snappy performance when you're selecting fonts. We've covered these things in the theming, understanding themes video. So I think that is it as far as the options goes. There's quite a lot of things in there to play with, and hopefully you can configure ZionWorx 2014 exactly to your taste. Thanks for watching.